Okay, so in each of these problems we want to solve for x. Let's start with number 23. We're told that 4x minus a half is equal to 8. Okay, well, although we're dealing with fractions and it might feel overwhelming, what you want to do is isolate x. That means you want to get rid of all the numbers that are not x and move them to the other side. You want to balance the equation, right? So if you're subtracting a half, you undo that by adding a half. So that leaves you with 4x, right? Because minus 1/2 plus a half is 0 equals 8 and a half. Or if you want to write that as a mixed number, right? Which I don't like to as a improper fraction. I don't like to work with mixed numbers here, right? 2 times 8 plus 1 is 17 halves. You can think of 8 as 16 halves plus 1/2 is 17 halves, and that equals 4x. Now we just solve for x. If 4 times x is 17 over 2, then we can divide both sides by 4 to find what x would be. So 4 divided by 4 cancels out, and now we just deal with this. The way I usually take a fraction, if I'm dividing it by a value, I just remember that that really means you can think of this as 17 over 2 divided by 4, which means you've got to cut this fraction in fourths. So, right, dividing by 4 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/4. Right? Those are equivalent. So 17 over 2 times 1 over 4 is the same thing as 17 over 2 divided by 4. Those are equivalent. And here, that gives us 17 over 8. And that's our value of x. If you want, you can plug it into the equation and see that it works. So that's number 23. Okay, got that one. 24. X over 2 minus 4 equals -5. Same idea. Here we start by adding 4 to both sides. And what happens now? Well, we have x over 2 equals -5 plus 4, or -1. If we're dividing by x by 2 to get -1, we can solve for x by multiplying both sides by 2, doing the inverse operation and doing it to both sides. These 2's cancel out, and x is going to be equal to -1 times 2, or -2. Same idea, you can plug it into 24 to see if it works. Let's move on to 25. Here we have, it says 3x plus 3 equals -2x minus 12. Okay, so here we're trying to solve for x, and I would add 2x to both sides, right? Keep it positive there, and subtract 3 from both sides. So these cancel out, and 3x and 2x is 5x. Now remember, this is a -12 minus 3, or -15. Divide both sides by 5, and x is equal to -3. And again, I would encourage you to plug that into your formula up here to see if it does indeed work, that x is -3. Okay, last one, number 26. Maybe it looks a little bit more complicated, but the basic ideas are still identical, right? Because we have x over 4 minus 4 equals 3x over 4 minus 6. First thing I'm going to do is add 6 to both sides. And then if I have x over 4, I'm going to get rid of it on this side by subtracting x over 4. And in fact, I'm going to do that on both sides of the equation. And this might look overwhelming, but look how nice this equation narrows down. -6 and 6 is 0. X over 4 minus x over 4 is 0. -4 plus 6 is 2. And 3x over 4 minus x over 4, well, that would be something like this, right? They have the same denominator, they both have a 4, and we're subtracting. So what do? Well, when you have the same denominator, you're subtracting, you just subtract the numerators. Here we get 2x over 4, and 2 divided by 4 is just 1/2, so you get 1/2 x. So that just means now that 2 is equal to 1/2 times x. So I would think about this in this way now, that 2 equals x over 2, or 1/2 x. Now to solve for x, I would multiply by 2 on both sides. Why? Because x divided by 2 times 2, those 2's cancel out. And now you're just left with x, and that equals 4. Your final answer, and you can plug that in as well. Alright, thanks a lot.